Hello everyone, how are you today? Welcome back to Pacific Front channel, a YouTube channel where I talk and discuss military topics and equipment, especially for Indonesian Armed Force. And if you like military topics just like this one, consider subscribing. In the past 2 weeks, we heard some big news about Indonesian fighter aircraft procurement program. First, we heard about the closing agreement of the French Rafale. Then, a couple days later, the acting Minister of Defense of the US visited Indonesia and made a counteroffer. What a move, America! It's been 5 years since the F-5 Tiger retired, and we haven't picked anything. So today, we are going to revisit the candidates and look at the upside and downside from each of them. Stay tuned. The search for the replacement of the F-5 Tiger began around 2015 when the aircraft were retired. Several manufacturers openly offered their jets, such as Gripen, Typhoon, Rafale, and the F-15. Even though Russia never openly offered Su-35 to Indonesia, in early days they were the strongest candidate and people's favorite. I already talked about Su-35 and why we can buy it so easily, so I'm not going to talk about it again in this video. Let's start with Saab Gripen. The Swedish company offers just 39 Gripen to Indonesia, a single-engine, multi-role fighter aircraft. At Indo Defense 2016, Head of Communication of Saab Asia Pacific said that they are ready to not only sell the aircraft, but also build an industrial capability in Indonesia. At that time, they launched a strong promotion to Indonesia. They brought the simulator at the Indo Defense Expo, created an Indonesian website, social media account, also made a computer-generated image of Gripen with Indonesian Air Force marking on it. Not only Gripen, on their Indonesian Facebook page, they made a model of REI Airborne Early Warning Aircraft with Indonesian Air Force livery. That's really a strong code for Indonesia. Gripen is the result of the best Swedish innovation. They know how to design a multi-role fighter aircraft that is reliable and also affordable. How cool it is to watch a fighter aircraft that can take off and land on public highway. Maybe the only candidate in our list that embrace that capability. Their commitment for technology transfer can benefit our aerospace industries also. We don't know how much they are willing to share with us because there is no agreement. But this can be an opportunity for, let's say, a warm-up before the IFX arrive. Sadly, it looks like the Air Force is not really interested in it. One of the factors might be because it only has a single engine. F-5 has double engine, so the Air Force wants another double-engine aircraft as its replacement. In addition to that, we already have F-16 with a single engine. If the Air Force wants another single-engine aircraft, F-16 will be their choice. Second, we have Typhoon. They started promotion earlier in 2014 with the simulator in Indo Defense, presentation at Indonesian Aerospace Industries, participated in Car Free Day with the Typhoon test pilot, and even brought the aircraft several times to Jakarta. Some sources said that their offer includes Typhoon final assembly in Indonesia. Interesting offer, right? With the growing interest toward Su-35, Typhoon slowly lost the stage. But not until July 2020. Austrian local media reported that Indonesian Minister of Defense has made a letter of interest for Austrian Typhoon, and it became a huge talking point within Austrian government. Why? Because their Typhoon is a product of corruption scandal, and they are trying to get rid of it. Their initial plan is to retire all 15 of these aircraft. But hearing that Indonesia wants it seems like the best solution for them and for their taxpayer also. Typhoon is one of the best fighter aircraft in service today, with advanced sensor and radar, multi-mission capability, also data computing capability. Its ability to be connected to other friendly assets is the key for future air battle, and Typhoon has been prepared for that. Having a network-centric warfare aircraft like Typhoon will secure Indonesian Air Force capability to face future air battles. The main problem of procuring a Typhoon either directly from Eurofighter or Austria is more about politics and foreign relations, especially when there is British involvement in it. we had an experience with British embargo in the last conflict. Even though today is different, are we going to risk it? If we decide to buy from Austria and simultaneously solve their problem, the path to hand it over to Indonesia will take a long time. Option 1. First, Austria needs to get approval from Airbus before they can sell it to Indonesia as a third-party seller. Option 2. Airbus will buy back the aircraft from Austria, upgrade it to meet Indonesian requirement, then sell it to Indonesia. So simple, right? Next, we have Rafale, the news that surprised everyone 2 weeks ago. Besides what we already heard, we still don't have any additional news. But there are 1 or 2 things that we can talk about while we wait for the possibility of an official contract. The total number of aircraft that Indonesia will procure is 36, confirmed by the French Minister of Defense herself, not 48 aircraft like the French media said. There is a possibility that some of the aircraft will not be new, like in the case of the Greek Air Force. They bought 18 aircraft with the composition of 6 brand new and 12 are ex-French Air Force. Rafale and Typhoon were first developed based on the same concept. Then, because of a disagreement, France quit from the program and developed their own aircraft. That's why we can find a lot of similarity between the two, from engine placement, wings, canard, and tail wings. I must confess, I cannot be objective when I talk about Rafale. For years living in Paris and always seeing this beauty fly on Bastille Day makes me fall in love with this one. So my answer will always be yes. Alright, to be fair, there are some upsides if we choose this one. 1. This is the only candidate that has the least possibility of any sanction from any country except France. Because all components on this aircraft are made in France, so only France can decide if they want to impose sanction or not. 2. If our prediction is right, that some of the aircraft are not brand new, we can get our first aircraft faster. Greece signed the contract a few months ago, and they will get 6 of it starting summer 2021. If urgency is our main concern, this is actually good for us. The only downside is we don't get any technology transfer or final assembly like previous candidates. Last but not least, we have the US. I said the US because they offer not 1 but 3 aircraft. First, they offer the F-16 Viper, but we said we want the F-35. They said no and offer Super Hornet. Then, the news about the Rafale appeared to the public. I'm happy, everyone happy, the end. But the US said, wait, what if I tell you that now you can buy the F-15? Will you consider your choice? That's basically what happened in the days following the Rafale announcement. The acting Minister of Defense of the US came to Jakarta a few days after the news. I don't know if he already planned the trip before or it was a surprise visit. Related or not, now the US decided to allow Indonesia to buy the F-15. Undoubtedly, the F-15 is an impressive aircraft, but I have to say this before we consider going with it. Even though they allow it, doesn't mean we have to buy it. Like it or not, our F-15 will always be inferior to what Singapore has. We are not the true US allies in the region, so it is normal if we can get the best weapons from the US like Singapore and Australia. What is the point of having an aircraft that is only inferior to our neighbors? We have to keep that in mind. In conclusion, this is our current situation for the fighter program. Some candidates give an interesting offer, one is so close from an agreement, and one makes a late move. All have their upside and downside, not only in terms of aircraft capability, but also their relation with Indonesia. My personal choice will always be Rafale, long before the current news. But honestly though, I will be happy with anything the choice is. Just pick something already. Don't make us wait for another 5 years. There you have it guys, a never-ending tale of Indonesian Air Force fighter procurement program. Which one is your pick? Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to know about the obstacle of buying Su-35, you can watch it right there. And as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to my channel, yes, this is very important, and I'll see you in the next one.